Peeps, welcome to another vlog. A couple of things I want to tell you. This is week 3 of school. You're looking at me right now on the Thursday before the test. I gotta fill you in on a couple of things that are happening. You hear my voice? I've been sick all week. I got sick as of last Friday. I started getting better throughout the week, and then something happened around Wednesday, and I think it was just studying, where I just got sicker and sicker as it went along, and right now I'm absolutely destroyed. My sister gave birth to my second nephew as of yesterday. I haven't seen anybody, which breaks my heart, but I don't want to get everybody sick. That's the really big concern I have. I don't want to show up and put anybody at risk for anything. That's the second thing. So welcome to my baby nephew Mateo. I haven't met you yet, but I'm very excited to meet you finally, and I look so very forward to seeing you grow up throughout your life. So I'm gonna have a shower, I'm gonna come back, tell you what the game plan is for tonight and for the rest of the week, and we're gonna start ourselves on a little vlog. Let's go. Alrighty, so I feel a little bit better, but as you can tell, it's late right now. It's like 11:34. It's Thursday, so my test is tomorrow. I'm gonna show you guys what exactly I still need to study, because there are a couple of more topics on the test I need to get down, or else I'm gonna blank on those questions. Last week we did wells, pressures and heads and stuff like that. This week we're doing septic system, leaching beds. So what I have to do is learn the sizing of leaching beds, and then we're gonna do a review section on the test just on copper pipe and the different types there are out there, and what they're used for and what they're not allowed to be used for. Just plenty of papers, as you can see, a lot to go through. And after that, if I'm able to get that down, I still have one last thing, which is a vent terminal, and there are specific rules for that I gotta get down packed as well. So I know I look like a disaster, and I feel the way I look. Let me tell you, let's try getting this all done, and hopefully in a speedy time. Let's go. Peeps! Greetings from the Dominican Republic. As you've noticed, I haven't been uploading for the past few weeks. It's been a little bit hectic at school. I had to put all my efforts into the studying of all the tests and all that stuff. I had to do a backflow test and certification, then I had to do the final exam, and that's something we're going to be getting into in the following weeks. By the time you're seeing this, I'm probably back at home getting back into work. So not to worry, I should be having a regular upload schedule starting up within the next couple of weeks. Fingers crossed that that goes as planned. But I wanted to tell you a couple of things about this week that you're watching, which is week 3. First things first, not only did I get sick the week before this, and then I got sick this week that you're watching right now, but at the end of this week that you're looking at, I don't know if you noticed my one eye, but I ended up getting pink eye the very same day that you guys were seeing me study. So it was a little bit of a mess. I had to finish off the test and then go straight to the doctor, which was absolutely necessary. So I wanted to go over the test, what we learned that week and what we were tested on, which had to do with septic tanks, leaching beds, etc. Let's get into it. So as of week 3, I got 113 out of 126. You could see the number right there. The first thing that we had to do was calculate the volume of air inside a pressure tank. Now when a pump takes water from a well and sends it into the house, in order to get enough pressure into the house, you need to usually put in a pressure tank. A pressure tank is essentially that, a tank basically designed to build a little bit of pressure up in the house so that you can eventually distribute the water to all the fixtures within the house or within the cottage that you have this well system on. And we learned a couple of formulas on how to calculate that. The first formula is V2 equals P1 V1 over P2. And we're talking about pressure 1, pressure 2, volume 1, volume 2. This is something that I will be getting into in the plumbing math course I'm planning to design for you all. I'll be talking about it in another video, but as you can see, I did pretty good on it. I got 3, 6, 9 check marks, and it was at a 9, so I did all right there. We had to do vent terminals. Couple of rules just to spit out there. A vent terminal must be a minimum of 1,000 millimeters above and 3.5 meters away in any other direction from an openable window, air intake, or door. Now here's what you got to keep in mind. Sometimes on buildings, you'll have a patio on the top, or you'll have a suite on the top. The concern with those sorts of things is when you have your vents coming up through the roof of that building, you got to make sure that those vents are high enough when they come outside that the tenants or the people on the patio on the top floor are not going to be smelling in the sewage gas that's coming off of those vents. That's why there are those sorts of rules inside the code book. We talked about different types of copper like DWV, which is usually color coded in yellow, type M pipe, type L pipe, and type K pipe. M pipe is designated with red writing, L is designated with blue, and K is designated with green. So type M hard copper cannot be used for drains, wastes, and vents underground. Type L soft copper can be used underground inside a building for water distribution, but it has to be soft type L copper. Only type K soft copper is allowed to be used for water service pipe outside the building below grade. We also talked about private disposal sewage system, which is the class leaching beds and septic systems fall into. We talked about the bacteria that goes inside a septic system. If you have an anaerobic bacteria, that's the sort of bacteria that does not require oxygen to survive, but there's also aerobic bacteria which does require oxygen to survive. In like a sewage treatment plant, when you have water and there's bubbles coming up, those bubbles are being put into the system so that bacteria can work its way through whatever it's breaking down. We had a diagram for what a leaching bed would look like. So you have a topsoil layer, backfill, these are your laterals, and then this is the thing that I was showing you that I had to memorize. This is the distances you're allowed to have things from each other. So your leaching bed has to be 30 meters minimum to your dug well, which has no casing, or 15 meters minimum to a watertight casing. This is what a septic tank would look like on the inside. You'd have an access riser, the scum would stay on the top, the sludge would be at the bottom. And then we talked about municipal water treatment processes and the way water works throughout the system. So you had a diagram here and you essentially had to label what each step was. So for example, the first step would be, goes from the lake to pre-chlorination to traveling screens to intake pumps to aluminum added, and we talked about the different things that they do in the water treatment process in order to make sure that that water is potable and that it is fit for human consumption. And we had a bunch of labeling that we had to do for fixtures inside a building, and then we had a bunch of sizing to do inside the building. So that really made up the test, but where I really docked the marks was the sizing. In the first few weeks of plumbing school, I had a hard time remembering the different rules on how things were sized, which really goes to show you that's not something I typically do on a job site. Dad and I typically do service work, for example, so we don't constantly have it fresh in our minds what a multi-story wet vent will have to be through to open air, etc. So it's something to keep in mind. As I progressed through plumbing school, I got better and better at this, and now just sitting back and looking at it, you know, I sort of see the mistakes that I went, and I'm sort of going, man, I wish I remembered, sort of thing. But I'm really happy that I went back this year and had this refreshed in my mind, and it's something I hope to continue to practice throughout my career to make sure that I'm sharp as possible with all this stuff. So peeps, that was a whole week of plumbing school where I was totally sick. I really appreciate all of the support that you've been giving me through these weeks where I haven't been uploading. I know it's been a while since you guys have seen me, but all is going well. Thank you for asking, and I look forward to getting this schedule up and running with the regular uploads at least once or twice a week. So peeps, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Kenny Molotov, guys. Peace, baby.